wonder why. It is so difficult to ignore the sound of a crying baby.
Exactly. It gets in your head and you can't, it just hits you.
Yes.
Like your spine starts tingling.
You're like, I gotta do something. Somebody do something.
Yeah. But what if that crying baby is your neighbor keeping you up at night? Would you complain to the homeowners association or even sue? No,
because babies can't help that they cry.
I find this so crazy.
I do too.
That people really complain about crying babies.
Yeah.
Like the reality is babies cry.
Yeah.
That's their job.
It's their job. And you know what, and I get it, if you are a parent, you're not parents, and you're a couple or you're a person who lives in an apartment. But the reality is that at some point that baby will stop crying because it will get older and it will stop crying.
It's just not a reasonable complaint,
No.
in my opinion. Like,
No.
It's one thing. It's not like somebody's playing music late at night or having wild parties. Children have to grow up.
Yeah.
Babies cry. It's just the way of it. And my feeling is, look, if you don't like other people's noises, then you have to save up money so you can go someplace without other people.
Yes, yeah.
If you're gonna live amongst other people's, then you have to deal with other people's-ness.
Yes.
And you have to be okay with it.
You have to deal with their sounds.
That's right.
Their lives. You know what? Let me
There's
tell
a
you
certain
something.
amount of discomfort. Like, this is the
Absolutely.
real, until I can afford an island or my boat, my houseboat,
Yeah.
I got to put up with my neighbors bugging me every once in a while.
Exactly. I got a neighbor who smokes outside and it drives me
Well, see,
crazy.
that I would totally, I don't know why
That's
you're
a whole
not.
nother show. That's a whole nother show.
I want to deal with this.
That's
She
a
won't
whole
deal
nother
with it,
show.
and I won't deal with it.
It's
The thing
awful.
is that you can't do that. You cannot tell somebody to just shut up their baby.
Yeah. Right.
Like they're enjoying it. Have you ever met a parent see with a crying baby and the parent's like, oh, I love this. I'm sorry, don't interrupt, my baby's crying. I want to hear it.
It's music to my ears.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
It's music to my
feels good to
ears.
watch my child be absolutely distressed. No.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't like it either.
Well, imagine if you were the parent of a small child and you got a note on your door that says, please consider buying a parenting book or consult with a child care expert. Your baby should not be crying that loudly and for that long. In fact, try more calming techniques like music and turn on a vacuum, rocking chair, go for a walk, anything.
Oh, well, that is exactly what happened to Jessica Ronovic in her Greensboro, North Carolina condo. She and her husband, Carl, eventually moved out. They couldn't take it. She's joining us today on the phone. Welcome to Me Time, Jessica.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, Jessica, what happened with your neighbor?
Well, we had a baby about a year after moving in, and our neighbor who lives downstairs started giving us so much advice about raising our baby. He would tell us in person. He left that note that you read on our door, and then he reported us to the HOA.
Wow.
And they told us that if we violated the noise policy again, we would be fined.
But you're not violating the noise policy, right? Because it's a baby.
Right. And as parents, we do everything we can to provide their comfort, but sometimes they just cry. And it was really heartbreaking.
Okay, I do have to ask, did this wonderful neighbor, does this person have any children?
You know, the first time I thought he must run an orphanage the way he was talking, but it turns out that he is a single male.
Yeah.
I can't believe that how did it make you feel when you saw that note? Because I'm insta-angry.
Oh, yeah. I think I was so many things at the same time. I was sad, I was panicky, I was anxious, and then I was also really angry that someone could make me feel so threatened in my own home.
Yeah.
Because it's the last place that you should feel like you're being bullied.
Yeah, like your housing is in jeopardy because of your child. Like, I just think it's so cruel and so terrible.
Yeah.
And I think that people really forget that they were babies too and they did the same exact thing.
Yeah, show me the video of his quiet baby ears.
Yeah, exactly.
Just sitting there in his crib, just looking at the mobile.
You're right. right. Now, you and your husband are musicians, right?
That's correct.
So, did you ever get complaints about you guys playing your instruments?
We never did. Not once.
Not once.
No, but the baby. That's where people draw the line. Humans.
So what made you decide to finally move?
I really couldn't take the stress of being so panicked every time my baby would make a noise. I had taken away all his noise-making toys and was constantly shushing him, and that's not any way to live. And at the time, I was pregnant with my second baby, so I thought this is not going to go well.
Yeah. What would
would you say now, in retrospect, because now, of course, you've learned about what your rights were at the time.
Right.
You know, so what kind of advice would you give to somebody who might be watching now going through this?
Well, I would say something just to everybody just listening, and I think that we all know that this world is full of children, and if we as a society believe in the value and importance of children, then we need to do all we can to support their families, whether that's just using our words or maybe not using your words, like refraining from saying something mean or that might, be really uncomfortable and for the parents.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Jessica. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
to
you.
be clear, it's amazing this even happened because to be clear, the Fair Housing Act prohibits discrimination on the basis of familial status by housing providers. You cannot be thrown out because your baby is crying.
Right. Well, we asked on social media, is it ever reasonable to make a noise complaint about a neighbor's crying baby? And 42% of you said yes.
All right, 42% of you got to have a talk.
Yes, and 58 said no.
Get some headphones.
Well, you know what? I went through the same thing too. I had a neighbor who complained, and my daughter's 12 years old now, and this woman complained when Abby was a baby, and I still don't care for this woman. And my daughter now is like, why don't you like Mrs., her name? And I'm like,
Mrs. Attitude? Because Mrs. Attitude had an attitude when you were a baby.
Exactly.
And acted like there was something you could be doing differently as a baby.
I haven't told her, but it's like.
Oh, you haven't? I will.
No,
I'll do it later.
It's in the back of my craw.
I will tell you later. Let me text her.
It's in my craw.
Abby, this is why. This is why.
Most neighbors would agree that it is okay to complain about other noise violations, but not a baby. But then why are we so affected by a baby's cry, right?
Well, apparently there's research on this. Apparently it's biological.
Okay.
Scientists have found that our brains are hardwired to react to a baby's cries even if we aren't the parent.
Yeah. Well, and that makes sense. It's a helpless being. You should be able to. It should be able to help.
Complain about it?
Yeah. No.
Right.
You should be able. You should help it.
Well, and also for the survival of the species, if we just ignored babies' cries, we wouldn't have fire and we'd be in caves.
Yes, that's true. Okay, and it also says here that it affects part of the brain that controls fight or flight response and other responses that keep us alive in dangerous situations, right?
It makes you want to get up and do something. I always find it interesting, on planes when babies cry, because I think people don't realize that, like when I was a kid, I had to fly a lot. Like you can't control the pressure in your ears. As an adult, you know to swallow or chew some gum, but babies can't do that. So they're actually, a lot of times I think they're in pain.
Yeah.
And all it really takes is a little bit of empathy and patience on your part and realizing the person who really has the hard time is the parent.
Yes.
For you, this is temporary. They got to take the crying child home with them.
Yes. And here's the thing, too. A couple tips. It's like, just be proactive. If you have a fussy baby, speak to your neighbors ahead of time.
Just, you know what? I don't even think you need it. They just don't have to deal. They just don't have to deal. That's the way life is.
Me Time with Frangela.